Voter intimidation, I think, is broadly defined as any activity that would make it difficult for somebody to cast their ballot. Anybody who threatens or gets in the way of a voter seeking to cast their ballot is actually committing a federal crime.
It can be any action that intimidates, threatens, coerces someone for the purpose of interfering with their rights, aggressively questioning your citizenship, your criminal record, your qualifications to be a voter, maybe falsely representing yourself as an elections official, displaying false information, misleading signs about voter fraud and criminal penalties, or spreading other false information about voting requirements. If a voter experiences any type of intimidation or they just don't feel comfortable about something that's occurring, and I would say the very first thing to do, especially if they're at the polls or they witness something that they feel uncomfortable about, is to find an election worker, so who's right there, ready to potentially answer any questions you might have, and address any problems you might encounter. In addition, if you don't feel like you're getting a good response, you can certainly sort of up the level and talk to whoever is supervising that poll site. You can also call up the county elections office or the state. While there are certain kinds of poll watchers that are in polling locations, they have to get certified beforehand. They're on a list. There are rules around their conduct as well. And in most instances, they cannot talk to voters. They're just there to observe.
Any campaign committee that has either a candidate or a ballot initiative on the ballot is allowed to have a poll watcher present at polling locations to watch voting, to watch counting. What Trump has been suggesting that people do, and what we've heard is actually happening here and there, or at least being attempted by right-wing groups such as the Proud Boys and other organizations that have recruited former special operations, military veterans, that kind of thing, is that they're planning to send people to watch who are not official poll watchers.
I'm urging my supporters to go into the polls and watch very carefully, because that's what has to happen. I am urging them to do it.
That's not necessarily legal, but it's also not necessarily illegal. You can't be within a certain number of feet or yards of a polling location if you're not an official poll watcher. If you're a member of a campaign, you can't go, it's 100 feet in some states, 60 feet in some states. And so if they cross that threshold, they're breaking the law.
When it comes to voter intimidation, the first thing I really want to emphasize is that everyone should go vote. There are strict rules around who can be poll workers, poll monitors, poll watchers, what they can do, where they can be, and state and federal laws on the books that target voter intimidation. And I think it's incredibly important to stress that it would be a shame for people to believe that there's going to be anything like voter intimidation on a widespread scale that forces them to stay away from the polls. Please do go vote.
I have a lot of faith in our state and local election officials and state and local law enforcement, and the partnership that's been building between the two in these past few months in preparation for this divisive election. And I think it's really important for Americans to feel safe and secure, not only about their vote, but about their physical person as they go to the polls.